And this is my request to the pastoral staff. Just read the books. Read the Ahnsahnghong's original books. Don't just believe the church's narrative. You've just been told this is what it means. This is why they're taken out. Guys, you're only getting one side of the story. Royal Messiah Church of God, you don't even have copyrights to like the original ones. If you had the copyright, the other ones that are out there online of Ahnsahnghong's original book, you could have taken them down and nobody would have ever known, but you don't. So I give thanks to Jesus Christ for actually not allowing that, and we can actually have access to that material, and then we can actually be able to see the truth for ourselves, that we've been lied to, manipulated, coerced, just been scammed.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Find the Alternative. I'm your host, Adam, 10-year former member of the World Men's Society Church of God. As promised and by popular demand, we have Mitch's part 2 coming up, and basically what we're going to cover in this video is when he started to have doubts, him being sent to Texas for a pastor to answer his doubts, and then finally when that didn't work, they actually took him to Korea for, I think, over a week or 10 days or something like that. And what happened in Korea to eventually make him leave the church as soon as he got back, basically, or at least step down from pastoral staff and then eventually leave the church shortly after. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to stick around to the very end. Also be sure to, like, share, and subscribe and do all that good stuff. And again, just for the WMSCOG members and leaders, like, this is our opinion based off our experiences. And, a lot of people say, well, why don't you attack Catholics? Why don't you attack Mormons or all these other places? Because this kind of stuff wasn't done to us in those places. So, just because, or they say like, well, some people have good experiences in the WMSCOG. That's great. Honestly, God bless them. I love good experiences in the WMSCOG. I don't want any bad
Even we
experiences.
had some good, even we
Yeah,
had some good
exactly.
ones.
I want everyone to have good experiences in the WMSCOG, but it doesn't discount the bad ones. Right? Just because you had one good one doesn't mean you can't discount the 10 bad ones. So the reason we do this is for change, to make people's lives better in the WMSCOG. It's a very reactive church. So Mitch, take it away. Let's dive into this here.
Awesome. Yeah. Everyone knows me. I was in the part one interview with me, Quincy, and Adam. I run the YouTube channel called Cult Audit. So there's going to be a lot of cult audits going on in 2026.
Excited.
So hopefully you guys can. Oh, it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's something totally new. And thanks for sharing that, Adam. And we've all had good experiences in the church. We're not just trying to be disgruntled members, but at the same time, the good that happened in the church does not make up for the lying and manipulating of the history, the coercion, the taking away from our time, the separation of families, friends, and I could probably name quite a few others. And I do have like a call to action I wanted to say to some, just any ex-members. Lately I've been watching a lot of stuff on Scientology, and I don't know, just because we were in a cult and our cult was bad, it doesn't mean there isn't worse out there. Scientology only has about 50,000 members claimed worldwide, statistically, is what they're saying. But the things they do to people in leadership positions that leaves, it's terrible. Private investigators, they have something called the fair game, so they just try to ruin you, tell lies about you online. They try to make your members, your neighbors, think you're a bad person. They try to ruin your company job. They do anything they can, and these people went through this lawsuits and all this stuff, guys. They went through so much more than we did as leaders. Leaders, when we leave and speak out, we might get sued. We might have some problems with the church, but we shouldn't be scared. Like Leah Remini, Mike Rinder, Paul Higgies, I mean, Claire Headley. I mean, there's so many, Aaron Smith Levins. Like, I could keep naming them. There's so many people that were abused by Scientology, even a worse cult than we were a part of, yet they have boldness to speak out. And I want to make this a call to action to all the former leaders watching this. Guys, that church has 50,000 people. Yet the media attention on this church is huge because people are speaking out in leadership positions. But we're a church claiming 4 million members that we were a part of. There was abuses, lies, manipulations, blackmail, so many things. Then why is it we don't speak up? I just want to make a call to action to leaders. Don't be scared, guys. We got a lot of backup. If anything happens to you, sure, we'll pitch in, we'll help. You know what I mean? Leaders need to speak up. There's so many high up leaders that left, overseers, assistants, and guys, it's the time now. So I
Yeah, we're
just,
all a team, right? It's
watching
not
their,
a one
yeah, we're a
person.
team.
Yeah,
It's not a
we
one
back each
person
other. We have each
battle.
other's back. We go to bat for everyone. So
Exactly. So I just wanted to mention that because they went through a lot worse than what we're going through with our group, but it doesn't give our groups excuses because our group is way bigger and they still have many of the same tactics and they're really bad. So we're going to get more into my story. So
yeah,
I think we ended it off at me sending a message to Quansanim Ellen about my doubts I was having in the
okay,
church as a pastoral staff. Now, anyone, if you don't know Quansanim Ellen, Quansanim is just like the highest rank of a female leader, like title you can have. Well, Quansanim Ellen, she's pretty much in charge of all North America. So everything goes through her. All the pastors stuff, all the assistants, anybody that has access to the admin, it goes straight to Quansanim Ellen, and then it gets processed through the head office in Korea, goes to Mother, whatever department it needs to. So when I doubted, we reached out to Quansanim Ellen. And let me share with everybody these questions and concerns I had. And then eventually you guys are going to see how they got answered. So to be fair, I already have screenshots of everything, but I wanted to just read it to everybody so you guys can understand. And it might be a little long, but I think this is really going to help members. So maybe if you're just watching another cult video, that's great because there's going to be a lot of good stuff in this one. But this one's really going to help members. So I'm fine taking a little time reading. So it starts out, I say, God bless you, Quansanim Ellen. I will now send the questions because I'm telling her, about my doubts and stuff. And I sent these questions on March 30th, the 31st of this year. Question 1. The authority of Ahnsahnghong's teachings. Why did Christ Ahnsahnghong seemingly allow the distribution of Ahnsahnghong's booklet, God Who Comes in the Flesh, in the church without objection, despite the controversial content? Did Ahnsahnghong play a foundational role formulating the David throne prophecy doctrine, later attributed to Christ Ahnsahnghong? If not, how do we distinguish between Ahnsahnghong's influence and An's original teachings? Question 2. Why does it seem that Ahnsahnghong's writings appear in the mystery of God in the spring of the water of life? Here's some context. Part of Ahnsahnghong's original 1978 book, God Who Comes in the Flesh, appears to have been reused almost verbatim in Christ Ahnsahnghong's later doctrinal book, The Mystery of God in the Spring of the Water of Life. This book continues to be a central teaching and a resource for the World Messiah Church of God today. This raises important theological and doctrinal concerns. One, if Ahnsahnghong was officially excommunicated and her teachings were considered heretical, why do the elements of her original work remain embedded in the foundation of the World Messiah Church of God's text? Was the content in question actually written or approved by Christ Ahnsahnghong, or are parts of Ahnsahnghong's writings incorporated by others during and after his lifetime without transparent attribution? If such content was maintained, does it suggest that Christ Ahnsahnghong aligned with some of Ahnsahnghong's views, or the writings selectively used, and if so, in what criteria? I think these ones are really important, these next ones. Question 3. What was the official stance of Ahnsahnghong regarding Ahnsahnghong's teachings? In 1978, Miss Ahnsahnghong authored the book God Who Came in the Flesh, which includes teachings on the second coming of Christ in the flesh, King David's prophecy, and Melchizedek, possibly implied that Christ Ahnsahnghong was this figure. The book was also co-published by Pastor Lee Chol, who is said to have been the first to be ordained by Christ Ahnsahnghong and was permitted by Christ Ahnsahnghong at that time. This has led to assume that he may have agreed at least partially with Suan's interpretation about himself. And there's another part I didn't put in this, but guys, this book was published in 1978, and they weren't even kicked out until like 1983. So they weren't even these two were not excommunicated until years and years and years later. So it kind of shows that he must have somewhat agreed with the book if he didn't excommunicate him because this is wrong, right? So the original 1981 edition of The Mystery of God and the Spring of the Water of Life, authored by Ahnsahnghong, includes clear references from the year to the year 1988 as a key prophetic date. The former members and historical documents confirm this date was heavily emphasized in the early teachings of the church, especially in Seoul, where members believe they would ascend to heaven with Christ Ahnsahnghong in 1988. After Christ Ahnsahnghong's death, however, the reference to the 1988 were quickly removed in newer editions. More concerning is the fact that these 3 entire chapters were deleted from the entire printing of the book without informing members or providing any reason. And they do provide a very vague reason, but it's no proof is ever given. So we'll get into that later. Then what are these 3 missing chapters? One, the big one, the restoration of Jerusalem and the prophecy of the 40 years. This chapter clearly shows calculations leading to 1988 as the conclusion of the 40-year spiritual journey from establishment of Israel in 1948. And then there was like another one, they took it out. I didn't really dig into this one because there's already so many, fish to fry, which was let us reveal the truth from the history books about Christians. I didn't even go into that one, but another big one is Elijah will be sent. This chapter was removed, and it explains the prophetic role of Elijah must be fulfilled before the last day, which some believe Ahnsahnghong applied to himself. So these chapters show that Ahnsahnghong, he was claiming just to be a prophet, and that he would ascend alive with the 144,000 in 1988. But as you know, he passed away in when? 1985, right? So this was a problem. So this is where it gets more personal, where I kind of poke at, if he's God, why did he do these things? This is what you're going to see in question 4. If Christ Ahnsahnghong truly gave a final will appointing Sahng as God the Mother, why was this revelation never shared with the Busan congregation? Especially considering that Busan was the center of the church and where Ahnsahnghong lived, taught, and led until his passing. This testimony seems to raise questions in light of the official belief that Christ Ahnsahnghong gave the final will to the Seoul church, appointing Sahng as Mother God, and instructing General Pastor Kim Ju-chol accordingly. If these indeed occurred before his passing, then, with all due respect, I sincerely wonder, why was nothing about this shared with the Busan congregation, who had remained faithfully by Christ Ahnsahnghong's side for years? Second, why did Mother not return to Busan, not even for the funeral? Third, was there no public declaration in Busan about this important spiritual transition of power? 5. My bad. 4. Why were elders and leaders in Busan not informed or involved in such a matter, right? Because there's a lot of leaders in Seoul and Busan, but they're not involved in this. Furthermore, if this truly was Christ Ahnsahnghong's final will, wouldn't it be reasonable to expect a written record or a statement clearly documenting this? To my knowledge, no such documents have ever been shown. If it does exist, why has it not been disclosed after all these years? It is especially heartbreaking to consider that the members in Busan, those who walked with Father, kept every Passover with him, and supported his ministry, were never informed of this alleged truth. Instead, they seem to have been left to spiritually die simply because they were not told what the group in Seoul later claimed to know. These same members seem to be eventually branded as heretics, not for rejecting the truth, but for never having received it in the first place. Is it fair that they were left behind in this way? So that was my fourth question to them. We're almost done, I promise. Number five, I kind of get into the Bible here. Number five, in Hebrews 7:3, Melchizedek is described as being without father or mother, without genealogy, without beginning of day or end of life, and it is said to be like the Son of God. We interpret this to mean that Jesus must come again in the flesh from a Gentile nation to fulfill Melchizedek's prophecy completely. This is what we're told. However, when we read Hebrews chapter 7, verse 11 through 14, explaining the meaning of without genealogy, this refers to, without genealogy refers specifically to being outside the Levitical priesthood, not being Gentile. It is for it, I'm sorry. It says, "For it is clear that our Lord descended from Judah, and in regard to that tribe, Moses said nothing about priests." Hebrews chapter 7 verse 14. This shows that Jesus, like Melchizedek, was qualified as a priest not through the physical lineage, but through God's oath and eternal nature. Hebrews chapter 5 verse 8 through 10, Psalm chapter 110 verse 4. If Jesus was already established as the eternal high priest in the order of Melchizedek through his resurrection 2,000 years ago, Hebrews chapter 7, verse 23 through 25, and if he lived forever and interceded for us without needing to be replaced, then how can it be said Jesus didn't complete fulfilling this at his first coming? Lastly, I have one more question regarding the wedding photo that is said to include Christ's Ahnsahnghong and Heavenly Mother. To my knowledge, I don't recall ever seeing this photo. If it truly exists and is a part of our church history, I would deeply appreciate the opportunity to view it. Also, in case you are wondering, this was saying like, because I didn't really believe at this time, but I'm trying to not freak him out right now, saying, if in case you're wondering, yeah, I still believe. Obviously, it's very obvious I probably don't believe after giving him those questions, right? But yeah, that's what I said. So this happened on March 30th, March 31st. This text message goes out. My wife gets a call, and I'm like, I'm not going to be here. I'll let you deal with that stuff. I go back into my computer room, editing it up. And it's about 30 minutes later, and I told my wife, and I told Sam Ellen, I want to keep this between us. I'm like, I just want to resolve it between me and head office. You don't need to involve my overseer or overseer wife. 30 minutes later, I'm in the office, and Eddie usually always keeps his door open, but when he's talking to head office, he closes the door usually. And I'm in my office. 30 minutes later, I hear a phone call because I can hear his office up there, and he closes the door, and I'm like, yeah, I told them not to tell my overseer, but guess what? They said, yeah, sure, brother, we won't yeah, whatever. Cause I'm like freaking out right now, like, okay, all hell's about to rain over. It's about to get crazy now. So I go back to my shed where I live outside, and it's funny. I'm not even done for the night. We have this first person out, last person in rule.
Right.
They act like they have no idea what's going on. And usually I get in trouble if I don't shut down all the lights. I can't usually go home early. Well, all of a sudden I get a text, "Hey brother, we got the lights and everything for you tonight. Have a good night. Have a good wonderful night." And anyways, Quantum calls back. I guess we're going to Dallas the very next day. And they wanted us to stay there for 2 weeks, but General Assembly was, I think, that upcoming Sunday. So we drove out, and it was so weird because all of a sudden they're like, "Do you want us to pay like, guys, imagine my entire life of in the church. They're never like, brother, we got your gas, the church, we got it, like fully covered.
Never.
But all of a sudden, I'm going to Dallas, and then they're like, brother, they're acting like it's just like it's so obvious they know, but they're acting like they don't, but they're doing a terrible job at it. Why you let me go in early? Emma, why you turning the lights off for me? You don't ever do that. And if I don't, I get rebuked. And now you guys are asking to pay for my gas when I go to Dallas? Like I think they're freaking out right now. but they're at, and they say, "Oh, have fun at like I heard you're really blessed, brother. I heard you get to go for a special education in Dallas." I'm like, "Yeah, it's really really special." And guys, I'm trying to save my faith at this point. You know what I mean? Um, I wasn't just gonna see this, especially in my position. All I went through with the church, I wasn't just gonna leave it because of what I saw online. Even though I thought it was hard hitting evidence, even though I didn't even believe at this point, I'm like, let me give it a chance. Let me see. I go to Dallas, man, I'm love bombed. They have a room for me, all these snacks and stuff. They built up this room for me.
No more shed?
And then like no more shed. My shed was nice though. It was a nice shed, Adam. It wasn't a
It
bad
was
shed. I know I
the
keep saying
shittest of
shed.
sheds.
It's the best. It's the best of sheds. I can't do
The
Trump.
greatest of sheds.
The greatest of sheds. I lived in the greatest of sheds. So I go there, and man, I just start hitting them off. Like I don't care. Like I'm just like I'm giving them everything. I'm not gonna play the game because I'm like if I don't get these answered, I'm gone. So what do I start with? 3 missing chapters. You're gonna realize I've had 3 different answers to the 3 missing chapters, and I hope if my best friend's watching this, who was in the church, who's in Austin, because he texted me and he's like, brother, like, it kind of hurt me. I didn't even want to respond. He's like, brother, you're pastoral staff. You didn't even know this stuff. Like, you weren't taught. I'm like, I was. Like, their answer, they just give us an answer and you're just taking it as correct, but it's not. So I bring it up to Pastor Jacob and I say, there's 3 missing chapters. And I said, I just waited for his response. He's like, he said one of them because I think he's the one that said, because mother said we don't need them. I think that was the case. Because when I was first brought into the church and I heard about this, it was like, oh, brother, they're spread throughout other books of Ahnsahnghong. They don't tell you what chapter it was or anything, because by doing that, they make you think, oh, I can read it. As long as I read all the truth books, I can read those chapters that they took out of the green book. But when you read the original, man, you realize real quickly you were lied to. Anyways, he gives me the one, brother, because it was mother said or whatever. So what does he do? He he says, yeah, because mother said, and I respond, I've read them. I'm like, I've read them. Um, I know why they're taken out. The 40-year spiritual desert fulfilled in 1988 pretty much shows that they have a failed doomsday prophecy. He worked around it. He brought up like what did he bring up? They bring up the Olympics sometimes, like the 1988 Olympics in Korea. Oh my God. Like just really, this is a worse excuse for the fulfillment of a doomsday prophecy. Because
What they call it, grasping at straws.
have you heard that one?
No, I
Did,
haven't
did
actually.
you ever hear? Yeah, you don't even want to hear it. I'll probably make you mad so we're not even going to get through that. That's what they told me. Yeah, it was fulfilled through the 1988 Olympics, and then how Ahnsahnghong was Elijah, and then like all the people from different countries are wearing these weird masks, and these are supposed to be like all the evil spirits of everywhere, and there was like 850 of them, so they were destroyed by Ahnsahnghong or whatever.
So it
Dude,
goes
it
from
was
physical doomsday prophecy to all of a sudden, well, actually, there's a
it's
spiritual
fulf- it's
fulfillment.
fulfilled through the 1988 Olympics in Korea.
Right. But that was never the context before until after it happened and they needed an excuse, right?
What a joke, right? And then my next one was help me understand about the church history. Because I told them we had an education on Shincheonji, and I found it really surprising that I felt like I knew more about Shincheonji, another cult in South Korea. I knew more about their history than my own church's history. And he's like, "Oh, brother, well, I'm sorry. You think that? Like, let me go through the history of the church with you." So plain. I'm like, I'm pastoral staff. You don't think I know this story? Same one every member knows. He just re-explains it to me, and I'm like, dude, come on. I know. So I ask him, what about all the 3 split offs of the church? And he's like, 3? What are you talking about? He's like, brother, there's only 2, ours and the New Covenant Passover Church of God. And I'm pretty sure either he was lying to me or he literally didn't know there was another split off the Church of God Jesus Witnesses. They don't like bringing it up. And then all of a sudden, after I keep pushing it, no, there's a Church of God Jesus Witnesses. He's like, brother, what are you talking about? There's only new. And I literally bring up the website, Church of God Jesus Witnesses on the phone. He's like, what? What? Like, what? And this will come back to it later. I feel like why in Korea they knew I talked to C.W. Kim, which is like one of the highest up pastors in this entire church in the world. He left the World Messiah Church of God, was a part of General Assembly, always with Kim Ju-chol, Song Il-ja. He left to join this church. So I think they knew about that later in Korea because pastor gave a report to Korea just in case something happened. And he acted like he honestly had never heard about this church ever before. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, yeah, it was C.W. Kim, high up leader. He ended up like leaving the church, this and this. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, I know. He left because he's trying to claim to be second coming Christ. Dude, that's their excuse for any high up leader. And in my head, I'm like this right now. Again, like, really? Like, you don't like I was very offended when I was in Dallas, but especially Korea, because they just gaslit me so much, like thinking I didn't do my due research. Like I've been researching for months, guys, months and months and months before I had the courage to bring this stuff up. So I was fully prepared for everything. And he straight up told me he's second coming Christ, and I was just claiming to be it. I didn't even acknowledge it. I was just like, okay, whatever. You're not going to tell me the truth. Because first you said you didn't even know Church of God Jesus Witnesses. But now you know C.W. Kim, who's a part of it, and then now you claim he's second coming Christ, just like they claim Daniel Park is second coming Christ too. So this happened, and then I bring up the bridegroom. The bridegroom was a long time in coming, all become drowsy and fell asleep. Ahnsahnghong's last truth book he wrote before he passed away, which has two failed doomsday prophecies. Again, skirt around it, skirt. Anyways, let's just finish up with Dallas here, just because we're already almost 30 minutes in. This happened, right? No answers. I was like, thanks, Pastor. Appreciate it. I acted like I was fine. I wasn't. Come back to Oklahoma. Everyone's super nice to me all of a sudden, like leadership wise. Like, Eddie's so nice to me.
It's because they just love you.
Emma's.
There is nothing else. They just love you from the bottom of their heart.
I was just wondering why Emma was being so nice to me because she was so nice to me before all of this happened. Yeah, so that happened, and I tell my wife again, no, this ain't gonna cut it. I'm done. Like no. So we tell that Quansanim again. Didn't do it. So I think pretty soon after that, like not even a week, I fly out to Korea. Um, I was in Korea for quite a while. I think more than a week for sure. Maybe 10 days, maybe two. I don't really fully remember. I was there a while. And it's funny, I went to Korea before, but they didn't pay for it then either. But they're like, yeah, we'll pay for your plane ticket and stuff. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And I'm serious, guys. I'm like, if my regional leader can't answer this, I'm gonna like, I'm literally giving the church all the chances to tell me the truth. What is the truth? Do you have the truth? Because right now I'm just getting just circles. They're just running circles on me, like lying to me about the history. Or the pastor didn't know. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's go to Korea. Let's see if they can solve my faith. No, it became way, way worse. So flew out to Korea in April. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure I can't remember if it's before or after Passover. I don't remember. I think it was before, but so I get there and they lodge me, and no problem. They lodge me. Very thanks for lodging me. I think lodging was great. You know, they cooked meals for me there. Thank you. You know what I mean? I honestly actually didn't feel as love. Oh, okay, I did when I was in the conference room, but like when we were just eating meals, I didn't feel as love bombed, thankfully. So I can't say they were really love bombing me at that point. But when I go to the head office, it starts like after that, the entire time I'm there, head off and headquarters is big, guys. These churches in America, you think you're big? Go to World Messiah Church of God churches in Korea. They are literally massive buildings, and they're everywhere. They're huge. Head office is huge. So much money goes into it. So I get there. I can't remember what day I got there, so I can't remember if I met Mother God, Zongil and Kim Chu Chol then. All I know is I met them 3 times while I was there. But I don't remember if it was right away. But I do remember first day I was in the conference room. They take me up maybe fifth, seventh floor in the WMS Center, like their headquarters building. And I'm there with my wife, and then there's Quonset Ellen, and then there's Elder, I think his name's Elder David. And then there's a Quonset who's always with Mother, higher than Quonset Ellen. Like she's the one right by her side. She was in their room every single day. And I was kind of a little annoyed because a lot of times they'll speak in Korean and then just not even like tell me what they're talking about. So it really irritated me. When I walk in there, there's also a translator for her. And first thing they do, they throw in a DVD of C.W. Kim, who's that high up leader, like General Assembly level leader of almost 4 million people in the world who left. First thing they do is they put in a video of him. How do they even know I've talked to C.W. Kim yet? They shouldn't, right? But I think it's because I mentioned Church of God Jesus Witnesses in Dallas, so they had a feeling I was talking to him. So I put in a DVD and it starts playing, and it's just a slander video on this guy. They're like, "This guy's bad because of this." Put on the full armor of God, guys. Hey, Adam, you Edgar Graylight Studios, you guys need to step it up until you guys get a full armor of God made about you. You guys aren't true OGs yet.
Slow and steady wins the race, my friend. Slow and steady.
Okay, good. Well, anyways, they play it and they say things like, "Oh, he was so bad. He would never listen to Mother. He wouldn't listen to General Pastor." And he used to work for the government, like high up in the government. And he became a pastor. He worked his way up to General Assembly within fewer than 10 years in the church. So just imagine that, guys. Like, how long does it take for us to become a pastor in America? Like 20 years with this church? Long, long time. This guy moved his way up that quickly. Why? Because of his position. When you have a high position in the world, you have influence. You like this stuff. So he was there, and then like he was so bad. They're like he wrote letters to the press that we didn't approve of. So this is what they say. They show no document. It's all words in this video. He said sent letters to the press that we weren't pleased with, and then he was always apologizing to Mother with his letters, and then Mother forgave him, but then he did it again, and then Mother forgave him again, so we sent him just to another church, and then he wrote all these bad things about General Pastor, so then finally he was like kicked out. And I was like, "Great, guys, this is some great propaganda." But to make sure it's not propaganda, I asked, "Oh, okay, thanks for showing me this. It might be true." So I asked, "Can I, because it didn't show it in the video." I was like, "Can I see those letters he wrote to Mother then? That, like, showing the apology?" They're like, "Oh, no, brother, we don't have those anymore." I'm like, "What?" And then I asked, "Okay, can I see the articles that were so bad that got him, like, kicked out that he sent to the press?" Oh, no, no, we don't have those. Yeah, we can't, like, share them with you. And, like, can I see the letters he sent to I've actually read the letters he did send to General Pastor, but I'm like, "Can I see those?" And they're like, "Oh, we don't have them." So I'm like, I was a little upset because this is our first session there. And I'm kinda upset, and I said, "Guys, I don't wanna be taken as a joke. The only reason I flew thousands of miles here is to get my questions answered." You know what I mean? This is my time, effort, this is my faith, everything. I'm like, I don't want this workaround. Like, this is propaganda. This video, all it is propaganda. If you cannot show me the true articles, then all it is propaganda. It's just words, no proof. This really made me mad, and I had a feeling if this is the way they're gonna treat me the first day I'm there, it's just gonna be like this the whole time, and it was. So I think this was first day too, because I was pretty upset my first day. There is a letter. Let me bring it up really quick here. That Kim Ju Chol sent to the Busan church, pretty much refuting the divinity of Sahng. And here we go. This really made me really mad while I was there. Really upset. Let me find it really quick. Give me 2 seconds. But it's this letter's been third party authenticated. So if anyone wants to try to deny, oh, here it is. I actually have it right here. So it's this letter. Everyone can see it. There's this signature right there. That signature, right? And why is this important? Sorry guys, 1 sec. Why is this important? So again, it was third party authenticated already. Maybe I can share later. But he writes in this with his signature, and it's been authenticated. The 144,000 are the church. And Sahng is not somebody who should be idolized in the church. So what's he admitting to? Well, he's admitting that the bride, because he says the bride are the saints, the 144,000. But we're told the bride is Sahng. And within the same article, he said that Sahng is not to be idolized, meaning she's not God. So I have a question for I bring this out, and I think they're a little shocked. And I'm like, is this letter true? They say no. It's I didn't show them the third party authentication because people can authenticate signatures. It's been authenticated. It was Kim Joo-chol's signature, but they lied. They said no, no. And I was like, okay, perfect. I was like, guys, I could be on a plane home tomorrow. Here's what we're gonna do. General Pastor, he's probably 2 floors above me in this building right now. I said, if you can go get him, and this is funny the way they reacted. I was like, if you go get General Pastor, the head of the entire church, the World Messiah Church of God in the whole world, if I'm this important, if he really cares about saving a soul, we can end this right now. Have him come down and tell me man to man, oh, Brother Mitch, this letter, it's fake. It's not true. I would have been home that day, guys, because if he would have taken the time to save, because it's all about what? Saving one soul in the church, right? We're all about saving one soul. But the head of the World Messiah Church of God couldn't come down 2 floors and tell me this letter is fake. And then me be able to go home faithful, keep on my pastoral staff journey or whatever. Honestly, I was going to be stepping down either way, but maybe he would have saved my faith because I was like, man, this guy's a man. He's, he doesn't care about his position or title or the way he looks. He'll come down and, you know, share and be honest with a basic leader like me. They're freaking out. They're like talking in Korean. No, 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 no. They step out for like 5 minutes. They step back in. Oh, brother, you general pastor, he's so busy. Like we can't do that. I'm like, okay, let's keep going then, right? So, guys, just want everyone to know the head pastor of the World Messiah Church of God, the one that's supposed to help all of our faith, that should care about souls more than anyone. I'm in Korea, 2 floors below him, most likely. And he won't even come down and tell me that that's fake. Want to know why? Because it's not fake. The church told me it's fake, but they know it's real because it's already been third-party authenticated. I went in knowing this. I just wanted to see how the church was going to respond to facts. So I just went on. So I think that kind of wraps up like first day. I don't have like all the days like locked down, kind of what happened and everything, but I'm going to hit the heavy things really quick. Let's get into what happened in Korea with the book God in the Flesh. Published in 1978 by Ahnsahnghong, and also one of the first pastors, actually, Ahnsahnghong, ever put in that position. He also co-published it and asked him the same questions I asked Pastor Jacob in Dallas. They were just skirted by. Why is it that my big thing was, why is it that no early writings of Ahnsahnghong show about, this prophecy of King David having to be fulfilled, the Melchizedek, stuff like this? Why is it only showing up after this book was published, they it was so weird. So I'm like, wow, they're bringing me evidence. See, they start bringing me like literally Ahnsahnghong's like original handwritten notes and stuff. And they're reading stuff off to me, and it says nothing about any of these prophecies. I think they're just trying to amaze me. Like, hey, we brought him some of Ahnsahnghong's early handwritten notes. Maybe they skirted around so many of my questions, and they kept trying to show me different things to like get my attention away from my point so many times. And I was shocked. This was an internet mission pastor, the head of all internet mission in the world. He's right there with me, and he can't answer it. He's dodging the questions, and then he's dodging about how many of the teachings of hers are verbatim in the Green Book. I brought up, here we go. Now let's get into the Green Book. When I mentioned to them why were those 3 chapters removed, and I knew why, I waited for his response first, just to see the reaction. And he's like, "Oh, brother." So I get a different answer this time. It wasn't brother because mother said, or brother is because they're in like the other truth books of written by Ahnsahnghong. He told me, brother, because they're already fulfilled, brother. That's why they're not in there. They're already fulfilled. And I literally do this at the desk. I literally do this. Like, and I sit here like this to him, like, just for a sec, and I just like get my composure back. Like, you just told me that. You just told me that. Guys, this is the head office of your church you guys believe in, and they can't even answer this. And I say, so then, like, what about the Old Testament? Like, that was all. The Old Testament was already fulfilled. Jesus coming from Bethlehem. Apparently, for you guys, Christ had to come in 1948, so that was
Brother,
fulfilled.
just get rid
The
of it.
Daniel
Just rip it
prophecy.
out.
So,
It's
yeah,
fulfilled.
so
Rip
it's
it
just
out.
like, so I was like, that's why I told him. So we just don't need any of this. And because he can't give me an answer, you know what he says to me? Brother, we just need to trust mother. Mother says we don't need those anymore. We don't need them. So since we don't need them, brother, it's okay. Like we don't need to worry about it. And then I tell him this. No, I know why they were taken out. And this is kind of where I scared him. I was like, guys, I told you I'm coming in here doing my research already. I read every single original book of Ahnsahnghong. It was taken out because there's a failed doomsday prophecy in it. 1988. Dude, still skirting around, bringing up other topics, and then, oh, it's lunchtime. We go, like, I'm not joking you. They are trying to skim by every single question and answer they possibly could. And I'm getting sick of it at this point. We're getting towards my last day there. A lot of other stuff happened, whatever. And they're showing me stuff I never even like had doubts about. Like even like the 1948 baptism and like other stuff. And I'm just like, guys, like I just want to get to my points. But you guys haven't answered a single question yet. And then um I bring up the New Jerusalem, the Bride and the Women's Veil, the book refuting Sahng. Man, do they skirt by this? I don't know why they skirted by this one like so hard. It really made me mad. He's like, "Oh, brother, yeah, that book, brother, it was just about Suin, and he published that, and it was just for a certain time, and then he took the books back. He took the pamphlets back, and I freaked him out because I said, "You're right. Ahnsahnghong did take those booklets back." And they're like, "Oh, good, brother Mitch, maybe he believes this." I was like, "But what you don't tell people is that a couple months later in October, he republishes the full book." So because there was a situation in the church with Suin claiming to be a female Christ, he really did make a quick copy of it and hand it to the church. This is true. But again, guys, this church is all about partial truth. It's true. He handed it out as like pamphlets. And it wasn't complete. It was just to solve the problem at that time. And then what they don't tell you is, yeah, he did take him. Well, they do tell you that. He took him back. But they tell you there were really bad people out there, like New Covenant Passover Church of God. They wouldn't listen to Father, so they kept him. And now they use him against the church in a negative light. No, no, no. And this is what kind of freaked him out. He got like big eyes and he's like, crap. Like this guy, he's just not like they're playing me as dumb. And I tell him, well, what about the one he published a couple months right after that? It actually says that this is just a first edition, quick to solve a quick problem, but the full book is going to be published months later. It's published in October that year. And I'm like, that one was not asked back by Ahnsahnghong. So then he goes into the book. So he's like, okay, well, let's look at it. And then same thing, guys. I want everybody to know, isn't it kind of weird, bro, Messiah Church of God members, that you cannot read any of Ahnsahnghong's original handwritten notes? They're not, you don't have access to them. The only time you see them is on like a special event day. And guess what? They probably have half of it blurred out. They just want you to see the certain parts they want you to see. Isn't that kind of weird? If you don't have something to hide, why don't you show the full context and then just highlight? It's very common in editing, like video editing. You can show the full thing, so if people were able to, they could read it, and then you just highlight it. But no, they blur out everything else and then show you only what they want you to see. So he does the same thing with me. He opens the book. Well, brother, you see right here in the preface how it says, against Suin and her what she's doing in the church, and I'm like, wow. Well, how about this? How about How about right here at the bottom where it says, this is unchanging truth, meaning like rebuking like the existence of a mother God. It says this is an unchanging truth of the Church of God. And guess what he does? He changes the subject and literally like I can see this guy like literally this pastor's getting mad. But he can't yell at me. He's like smiling like this, like looks at me and then changes the subject. I let him get done. It's so crazy, dude, how he changes subject. Like, what I did in the military, it's very easy to see that people are just, they're just, he has no answer. So he changes the subject and he gets done with the subject. And I was like, thanks, Pastor, but you didn't answer my question. I said, I've read this entire book. I was like, let's go to chapter 5. Let's go to the last chapter. Let's go to chapter 7, where he's like, you're delusional. There's no mother God. That the heavenly Jerusalem in Revelation 1 and Revelation 22, that heavenly Jerusalem is not a physical person, but like the material for God's temple. And I show him all these. I'm like, please don't act like I don't know. Why don't you guys show members this? Like, why can't we read it? Again, truth should be able to stand up to scrutiny, right? If you're a Christian, you should be able to read any form of any religious literature and be able to be like, yep, still I'm Christian, still stands up. But they can't do that because if you read the actual literature, it doesn't stand up to the Bible. It doesn't even stand up to their founders' actual teachings. And again, he changed the subject. He changed the subject again until he got so mad. Like literally so, like he wasn't like yelling, but the guy's literally shaking mad. And we leave for lunch. No answer. Never got the answers. So again, we're on the side Church of God. If you think you're the truth, your own head office doesn't have the answers for it. And I want all the overseers that are watching this, any member that sees it, why don't you go read the books for yourself? See if the church is God's. Hey, isn't this God's? Isn't this God's word? So how, if you're eating God's word, are you eating from the tree of knowledge, good and evil, looking online? If you're reading Ahnsahnghong's original book, don't believe when the church is just like, no, all of his books, everything is just in the truth books we have now. It's not, guys. Many of his original teachings totally discount any of the books that the World Messiah Church of God has. Failed Doomsday Prophecy. Why can't we have Ahnsahnghong's last book he wrote? Bridegroom is a long time in coming, all become drowned and fell asleep. I brought that up to him too. Man, he's skirted by that one. Guys, I couldn't get an answer for anything. Zero. Because I read the books. And I'm like, why does he have 2 failed doomsday prophecies right here? And comes up with these like excuses. It was ridiculous, guys. I'm at this point, I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to step down. It gets worse. So Adam, I'll let you say something, and I'm about to like blow the roof off this place. And I hope all the members are watching this and they can realize how they've all been lied to, including you, Eddie. And Eddie, if you ever leave, you and Emma, anything I said that you didn't, I understand. You were in this group. They probably made you do it. You were manipulated. You thought you were doing what was right, but it's not. And the second you leave, you and Emma, I'll throw it all away. I'll act like nothing ever happened. Same as anybody that leaves. Doesn't matter how high your position is. I won't ever hold it against you. I'll forgive you immediately.
That's what I was gonna say is, all the overseers think we're like enemies of them, and if they ever step down or come out or something, we're going to hate them and hold things against them and all this kind of stuff. It's really not like that at all. It's really not.
Yeah.
Like if all my overseers or leaders or whatever the case is step down and they're like, hey man, you know what? I'm sorry. I'd be like, about what? What are you sorry? Oh yeah, the cult stuff. Oh, don't worry about it, dude. We all did
Yeah, don't
stuff.
worry
We
about it.
all said stuff. We
And
all manipulated.
yep.
We all did the same stuff. Like you might have done it more or whatever, but
Yeah.
seriously, as soon as you step down and you leave and you reach
Yeah.
out, it's all water under the bridge,
Yep.
man.
So I just want to say, like, Eddie, all the overseers, Eddie, I know I went really hard on you in my first video, you and Emma, but I really hope you guys. I don't agree with what you guys did to me. I think it was messed up. I think it was wrong. I thought you guys treated me wrong, but I only know you're doing what was done to you. And I also know most of the things you do, it's because head office is telling you to do these things. So the only reason I'm speaking out and I'm using your and Emma's name is because you're ambassadors of the World Messiah Church of God. You're a leader. So what you do reflects the church. If this is a member, I'm not going to really use their names because they're just members, but you're a representative of this church. And while you're in this group, I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold you accountable for that. But again, like Adam said, the day you guys leave, Eddie and Emma, like, we don't even need to bring up what happened. I'll be like, open arms, loving, like, right at them. Like, really, we know you guys are good people. But the things you're doing in the church and doing to the leaders, if you think it's right, only having two assistants and they both leave the church and speak out. This isn't a Mitch problem. This isn't a Quincy problem. This is a leadership problem. This is a church problem. Even when I was in pre-theological, do you know how many people fell away from the church in my class to become pastoral staff? So many. Do you know how many that became pastoral staff ended up leaving the church? Quite a few. We don't last, guys, in the leadership. And if you last, man, they must got you sucked in good. You must really believe this because I'm telling you this is a rack of crap. I'm sorry that they're teaching you. And Eddie, you're a smart guy. Overseers, you guys are smart. This is my request to the pastoral staff. Just read the books. Read the Ahnsahnghong's original books. Don't just believe the church's narrative. You've just been told this is what it means. This is why they're taken out. Guys, you're only getting one side of the story. World Messiah Church of God, you don't even have copyrights to like the original ones. If you had the copyright, the other ones that are out there online of Ahnsahnghong's original book, you could have taken them down and nobody would have ever known, but you don't. So I give thanks to Jesus Christ for actually not allowing that, and we can actually have access to that material, and then we can actually be able to see the truth for ourselves, that we've been lied to, manipulated, coerced, just been scammed. It's just been straight up scammed. It's even you either believe in World Messiah Church of God or you believe in Ahnsahnghong. You can't believe in both. There's no way because they contradict each other in teaching. So I just wanted to state that, but I think we can get on with the story. I met God the Mother, the God who's in the flesh in Korea, as they say, Sahng, and I met Kim Ju-chul, the general pastor of the World Messiah Church of God, who's the head of the church, and Mother God, who is, I guess, God on this earth, right? Even though Ahnsahnghong, even though he would deny it. So I met with them a couple different times. I think first time I met, it was just with Sahng Mother, and we're in a big boardroom. It's the one, I don't know. I can't really explain to everyone. It's at the main Pangyo temple. It's a massive church. And I'm sitting right in front of her. And again, she can't speak English. She has her own translator there. And it's just weird that like her translator has to like talk to me, but when it's God, I don't know. I never really understood that when like God gave the apostles like the full ability to like speak different languages on the day of Pentecost, but God came and I don't know. It's kind of weird. But anyways, we're sitting there and she's like, "Do you still believe?" And like she's pretty like serious, right? You still believe in Ahnsahnghong? And I told her straight up, that's why I'm here. Like, I was like, I said, I don't know. That's why I'm here. She's like, whatever. Like, okay. They're talking in Korean. She's talking to my wife in Korean. They didn't even translate half of this stuff that they're saying right now in Korean. And you're gonna realize I feel like I know why later. So they didn't translate it to me. And then we leave. We leave. She asked me too. Have you been talking to CW Kim? That's what she asked me. Have you been talking to CW Kim? I was like, no. I told her no. But we walk out because, dude, honestly, people in the outside world, they don't understand. You say stuff like this and your wife's in the church, she'd freak out, my wife. She might just want to divorce me right then and there if I tell this mother God that you know, I'm talking to CW Kim because that's like a big enemy of the church, huge. So we walk out. And I'm like, at this time, I'm like, maybe she's God, maybe she's not. I don't know. But like, I just lied to God. So I'm like, I need to like make up for it. So I pull Kwansani Ellen aside. I'm like, Kwansani Ellen, I just want to let you know, tell Zongilja, tell mother, the only reason I said I didn't talk to him is because literally I'm in the room with my wife. Like, that's not the smartest question to ask because this could affect our relationship. So I was like, you can go tell her I wasn't lying. I just couldn't reveal it with my wife there. And she's like, oh, brother, thanks so much for being honest. And then you know what she said? She said, don't talk to Adam. He's like, have you been talking to Adam? I'm like, no. She's like, don't talk to Adam. I'm like, Adam, like, I never brought you up ever.
That's
So like,
weird,
you're
dude.
on the radar. It's just weird. Yeah, don't be talking to Adam. So I
And
was
this
like,
was like what,
whatever, dude.
April,
Yeah, it's in
May?
April. Yeah. Yeah, so she
Which is
says don't
weird
talk to Adam.
because like we had talked at that point, but I
For
mean I
sure,
wasn't
but it was
even.
just so weird. Like, I'm just getting questioned like this, and like, I don't even know why she brought up CW Kim. I had a feeling they knew, but then I knew why they were talking in Korean. Well, I know
What?
either that night we're in our lodging, right? It's like 2 in the morning, and I wake up, and my wife is beside my bed, like leaning beside my bed, and I'm like, "What are you doing? What are you doing right now?" She's like, "Oh, I'm just watching you sleep." I'm like, "Whatever." I did not believe it at all. She goes back into her bed. I kind of wait for her to like kind of doze off a little. I'm a tech guy, so I check my phone. I'm like, I go on to my settings here, and then when you go to your settings, you can see how many at what time you were on an app and for how long. So because dude, very trustworthy. My wife had like my wife has my password. Like, I trust my wife. And guys, I'm not blaming my wife. She's fine. She's in the group too. Who she's gonna believe, her sinner husband or God? You know what I mean? When they believe God, they're gonna do what God says or what the higher up leadership says. Even if they told her to divorce me, my wife will divorce me. And I want to give a quick warning to the head office World Messiah Church of God. If I find out that you're responding and talking into my wife after I drop these videos, and I find out, because I promise you I will find out, I will never stop making these videos. I will never stop. And I will continue, and I will continue, and I will keep fighting the lies and the manipulation you guys keep doing. So if you guys want to keep interfering with my marriage, so be it. I'm not scared. I'm not going to be held back because of this. I'm not going to be held back under this umbrella that you guys capture us in and not speak out on my experience. So I'm just giving you a warning. Stop interfering with my marriage. You don't have the right to interfere and start sharing her videos because I don't talk to my wife about the church. I drive her to church. She can go still tithe and offer, but I have the right to speak out. I don't bring it
Even to
up to
this
her.
day, even to this day, like right now, you don't talk to your wife about it. You drive her to
Yep.
church. You do whatever she
hmm
wants.
She has her faith, guys. Again, it's freedom of religion. I don't want my wife to be in the church, but it's not my choice, right? And I defended the freedom of religion while I was in the military, and I support it. So if my wife wants to go here, I don't like it, but I'll support her. I'll take her to the church, let her do her tithe. I never bring it up to her. But at the same time, I never bring up my anger about the church to her. I never bring up my doubts to her anymore because it affects her relationship. I know how they work. But I'm letting know both times. The only time my wife ever finds out when I'm mad at the church is when the church keeps calling my wife. When I ask a church a question, they call my wife, and then I blow up on them, like all the bad things. So I mean, keep doing it because it's only gonna make my wife even like doubt more. Because that's the only time I'll ever bring up the church is when they call and they interfere with our marriage. Then I will bring up stuff, and I don't want to. I want her just to have her faith. I hope one day she leaves, but at the same time, as I support her and she doesn't bring the church up to me, I don't have to bring up these videos to her. I don't have to bring up my doubts to her. We just live our lives. We're happy, but I have the right to speak out too. But if you're going to hinder my freedom of speech, oh, I do not let, in my marriage, that I will not let that fly. So let's get back to that. So sorry, Adam. I was mentioning she was by my bed. I found out she was on my phone because I went to the activity center, shows the time that it was opened and at what time. So I checked it and I'm like, it literally says like 3 minutes ago. Facebook Messenger was opened, text message, all this stuff. So I'm like, I've been asleep for 2 hours now. So I haven't been on my phone. So I know why she was by my bed. So I tell her, were you on my phone? She said, no. I was like, I know you were on my phone. I have the activity record showing this and this were open. And she's like, why did you lie? You're crying, man, like about CW Kim and talking to Brandon and like all these ex-members. I'm like, I'm not trying to hurt your faith. This is my battle right now. You know what I mean? She's never been on my phone before. So there's no reason that the church wouldn't have told her to do this. I'm not saying they did, but this is very unlike my wife. My wife does not just sneak on my phone. This was weird. And it happens all in the same day. So that happens, and I'm pissed off right now. I'm like, I forgive you. Like, honey, I forgive you. I'm like, mother told you to, right? Or whatever. She's crying, so cause I caught her, dude. Like, I'm not even yelling at her. I was like, don't ever go on my phone again. I'm changing my password. I've been talking to him because I care about you. I don't want you. This is my battle. You know what I mean? And church tries to hide information. They're big about information control, so that's why they're trying to conceal it all and know what I'm saying and who I'm talking to. And now I've realized, actually, New Covenant Passover Church of God, they're kind of just like their front group for the church that they used to slander. So then people don't know about like Church of God Jesus Witnesses. I'm pretty sure they're more scared about that. So, you ready for the big bread and butter? Then I think somewhat next day or something like that when we're about to leave.
I'm
It's
ready. Let's do it.
yeah, this is a big one, guys. I think it's a smoking gun for all pastoral staff, all current members, to let you guys know you've all been lied to. Before, we already all have been lied to, but this one hurts. This one really made me mad. I can't believe they thought they could get away with this. So, we're at head office. So, I think it's important now to get into the thing that they lied to a lot of us about. And this lie was completely exposed in Korea. So, I think it's maybe 3 days or 2 days before I fly home, and I'm in the sorry, I'm in the conference room again, and the Kwan's name, that like high up female leader that's always with the Mother God. She brings me this bag, and she says, "Mitch, I have something very special for you." I'm like, okay, cool. So she she pulls out 3 Bibles. And she says, and I didn't ask for this, they just brought it. It's funny because it was something I wasn't doubting. It was something that they brought to me, and it's something that makes them look really bad. Because I'm like, if this didn't happen, I probably wouldn't even be speaking out right now. And that's how bad it was. Um, so she brings out 3 Bibles, she puts them on the table. So she's like, she brings out the Book of Dianetics. She brings out the Church of Almighty God Bible. And then she brings out another church. I'm just kidding. She brought out three. This is a little like a Easter egg for future stuff. Anyway, she brought out Ahnsahnghong's original three Bibles. So I'm gonna use Eastern Lightning, which is another Chinese cults books. Very hard to get. I worked very hard for these. You'll see the video next year. So she puts out Father's first Bible. She puts out Father's second Bible. She puts out Father's Bible. And she's like, Brother Mitch, these are Father's last three Bibles. And I'm like, cool. Like, actually, even though I didn't believe anymore, I'm like, still history. I'm like, kind of cool. Good to see his first, like, Bibles. And she's like, Brother, this Bible right here, brother, this Bible right here, let me tell you. She's like, this is the one where Father wrote, baptized Naksan Inshan 1948. I'm like, cool. I can't wait. This is pretty cool to see, though, still. So she does this. She opens to the back. She's like, oh, it's not here. So she opens to the front. Oh, it's not here. I'm so sorry. I think I accidentally grabbed the wrong Bible. So then she does this. She pulls out of her bag a laminated copy, not of the Church of God Jesus Witness. No, I'm sorry, not of the Church of Almighty God, which this is, another journal on them. But she brings out a laminated copy of the page in the Bible where Ahnsahnghong wrote, baptized Naksan Inchan 1948. She has it on the laminated copy. So she brings me three, but then already pre-prepared had a laminated copy of the baptized Naksan Inchan 1948. So my head is a little weird right now. And the reason, let me explain why this is kind of strange for me. At this time, you're probably like, how's it weird, Mitch? Well, here's why it's weird, guys. I've already been to Korea. I was there last year. I went to the Church of God History Museum. In the Church of God History Museum, at the head office, there's three Bibles of Ahnsahnghong in a glass case. And one of those Bibles is opened up to where it says baptized Naksan Ninja 1948. So in my head, I'm thinking in my head to this question, how do you accidentally grab the wrong Bible when there's only three in the glass case? And the one you specifically wanted to show me is the one that is very clearly opened in the glass case in your history museum. All you had to do is close it, grab that one, grab the second one, grab the third one, put them in your bag, and bring them to me, because this is what you're trying to show me. But instead, all of a sudden, the one that's opened up in the glass case where it says baptized Naksan Inchan 1948, you don't have it, but in your bag, you have a pre-prepared laminated copy of the page in the Bible where it says Naksan Inchan 1948. So right now in my head, I'm like, I don't understand.
It's almost like she planned to accidentally give you the wrong one, which made it necessary for the laminated copy, which that
And
makes no
and it
sense.
made it worse. Because, like, Adam, you honestly have to think I'm stupid to somebody that's been to Korea, that's seen the three Bibles in the glass case, and then all of us, like, you don't need the laminated copy if you had the original Bible. But you knew you didn't bring me that Bible, so you pull out a laminated copy. Here's where it gets really bad. Let's imagine this is a laminated copy, right? And let's imagine, for everybody, just for detail, imagine this scribble on the bottom, right there, is where Ahnsahnghong wrote baptized Naksan Incha 1948 on the laminated copy, right? So they show me, oh, see, brother, he surely did sign it here. I'm like, cool, weird. But they say, see the red stamp on the top left-hand corner? You see it, brother? This is Ahnsahnghong's seal, like his stamp seal, proving that he wrote this. Guys, I didn't even have a doubt about, like, I believe Ahnsahnghong was baptized in 1940. I literally had no doubt, and I still don't have a doubt about it. But I'm like, man, this is so weird. Like, how do you bring the accidental wrong one? Why did you already have a pre-approved laminated copy and then you're showing me the seal? Like this isn't evidence to me at this point because you didn't show me the evidence. This is a laminated copy. So I'm just like I'm like this is a red flag to me. It's weird. I don't know why she did that, but it all made sense the last day I was in Korea. It all made sense to me. The last day I'm in Korea, before I catch my flight, they're like, brother, we updated the Church of God History Museum. Do you want to see it? I was like, I would love to, because I wanted to see these 3 books in that glass case. Guess what? I go to the Church of God History Museum for my second time. Guess where the first place they stop? Ahnsahnghong's like section. And then in the glass case, there's Ahnsahnghong's first Bible, his second Bible, and then there's a third one. Opened up right to where it says baptized Knox on Inch in 1948. I'm like, man, what the heck? This is so weird. And I told my wife, like, there's 3, like, she's not even listening to me. I'm like, there's 3 in here. And then, dude, again, one of these moments, the laminated copy, guys, had a red stamp, like a red stamp seal on it, right? And his signature. But in the case, the glass case with the 3 Bibles, the one that's opened up to his signature, we'll say it's right here. No stamp. No stamp. So at this point, I'm like, you guys lied to me. You guys tried to deceive me. And this is a joke. I was so done. I was like, oh my. I should leave Korea. I go back to, I'm going to speed it up. This is really messed up, guys. And I have to mention one part of like for our future story so it all ties together so you guys can remember. I go back to OKC. I step down. I'm going to speed this up. There's so much more to the story, but I step down, move back to Colorado. We're just keeping home worship. I'm still doing my tithe. I eventually tell my wife I'm not giving any more tithe to the church. This all happened this year. Not giving any more tithe until they can explain to me why they lied to me about this Bible in the center. Why they had to manipulate and lie to me about this, even though it wasn't a question of mine. So I texted to Ahnsahnghong Ellen. She's like, brother, I'll get a response for you. I waited a week. She said it would take about a week, even over a week. She wanted a response. So I was like, do you have my answer yet? Again, I'm communicating with her. But guess what they do? I try calling her. Doesn't answer. They call my wife, guys. They always try to bring my wife into it. They call my wife. I'm in my car. This is at 12:30 at night. Well, no, I come in from work. And then my wife is like, no, we need, like, they want to talk to us on the phone. I'm like, dude, why is she not calling me? I told my wife, I'm trying to leave you out of this. I told her, I'm trying to leave you out of this. This is my faith, my questions. And they keep bringing my wife into it. They call her. And she's like, it's 12:30 at night. I'm like, no, we're not gonna do it in the house because at this point, guys, I left the church with no money. I literally had to move back in with my parents to start back over. I'm doing fine now. Got my own company. I got my own place. We're doing fine now, but I left the church with nothing. Nothing. They took everything from me. I'm living at my parents. I'm like, it's 12:30 at night. We're not about to talk in the house because I already know I'm about to freak out. So I'm like, we're going to the car. We go to the car. And it's Pastor Benjamin from Korea on the phone. Oh, brother, God bless you. How you doing? I'm like, dude, fine, dude. I'm like, why you guys keep calling my wife? This isn't the last time it happened, but yeah. Why do you guys keep calling my wife? And this is irritating. I asked you the question. You respond to me. I'm the one that asked you the question. Stay out of my wife. Like, don't bring my wife into this. So I asked him the question. I was like, so what about the Bible? What happened? Why did you bring me a laminated copy? You didn't bring me the real one when there was only 3 in the glass case. And I said, this seems like scripted already because you had a laminated copy, so it seemed like you guys already knew because if you had the original, you don't need the laminated copy. He's like, brother, it's a big misunderstanding. Big one. Big misunderstanding. I'm like, all right, well, let's hear it. He says, brother, We didn't lie to you, brother. We accidentally brought you the wrong Bible. We accidentally brought you Mother's Bible, because that's what she told me. She said, "So sorry, I think I brought you Mother's Bible." What? How do you do that when there's only 3 in a glass case and they're all Ahnsahnghongs? So I ask them, okay, how did you bring me the wrong Bibles? They say, brother, everything in that museum, brother, at that museum, we don't keep the actual ones there. They're just replicas. Everything. It gets really bad here. Everything in that glass case, everything in the Church of God History Museum is not the original. It's only a copy that we had professionals make it and whatever. And he's like, so Mother actually keeps all the originals. And when the Confronting went to go grab the Bible from Mother, she accidentally grabbed Mother's Bible instead of Ahnsahnghong's last one. I'm like, okay. So we got 2 problems here. Even though she brought me the wrong one, she was assuming she brought me the right one. So why does she need a photocopy? Couldn't answer that. He couldn't answer it, because obviously it already shows that they knew they were bringing me the wrong one. Don't know how they didn't catch that. I was like, wow, guys, you're not too good at this, helping people keep their faith and lying and manipulating to people as you thought. I thought I went to head office. I was kind of hoping for some more professional manipulators, coming from the head office and deceivers, but maybe it's just a country, and we're in different countries. Maybe that's what separates us and makes it harder for the information to cross. But when you go to Korea, dude, they don't got answers for anything. Anyways, I was like, we got 2 problems. First is, you said everything in that Church of God History Museum is a replica. And I'm like, you guys are liars. I'm mad, right? I'm really pissed off. I'm on the phone. I'm yelling. What? You're telling me everything in that Church of God history. So she never grabbed the books from that glass case. He's like, no, they're kept with Mother. So it's like, so now you guys, this affects it so much worse. Eddie, overseers, everyone listening to it, they need to listen to this, because everybody that goes to Korea, everybody on a visiting trip, they always come back saying, I'm a witness. You gotta believe, brother, I've seen Ahnsahnghong's original handwritten notes. I've seen his Bible where he was baptized in Ahnsahnghong in 1940. I've seen the truth. I went to the Church of God History Museum. They have all the truth in there. Well, guess what? Too bad, bud. Because guess what? Ain't none of y'all seeing the truth. Apparently. Because apparently, according to head office, all these books according to my phone call, every single book in this in the head office museum, World Messiah Church of God Museum, is a replica. This isn't I, let me put it like this. Museums often do replicas, right? But everything in a museum isn't a replica. Many times museums will put out originals, but they'll have professionals do replicas. This isn't a problem. Even if the church had replicas in the museum and they were honest about it, hey, just for preservation, or we just have the replicas here for you guys to see, but we we keep the originals somewhere else. That's okay if you let people know, like a regular museum would. And regular museums on many occasions bring out the originals. So first off, apparently none of us have ever seen the originals. But we're told that we've seen the originals. Everybody, all you pastors, all you assistants, all you overseers, all the members that ever went to Korea, I'll fight it till the day I die. Everyone that's texting me right now, Mitch, you don't know what you're talking about. Guys, no, you don't know what you're talking about, sadly. Please look it up. Please, do your research. They lied to us. It hurt me so much when they gave me this answer, because they made it worse. It was already bad. I felt like I was lied to about the Bible. But they made it worse, because no reason for the photocopy if you brought me the original, and then you're telling me none of the originals were kept in the museum ever. They're kept with Mother. So now they're not lying to me. They're lying to everybody. Guys, everybody needs to know this. You have never seen the original material, according to the phone call I had with Pastor Jacob, Kwansanin, Ellen, whoever was speaking Korean in the background, trying to answer the questions to Pastor Jacob to say to me. They know it. They know the truth. But guess what, guys? You guys have all been lied to. Every single one of you. None of you are witnesses of Ahnsahnghong because when you come back, you say you're a witness to all of his material. You're not. Sorry. I was told this by the church and have proof. So, not too scared of them. We'll get more into this in part 3 of my interview, but I had to mention this, what happened months and months later after I like fully left the church. And how they always are trying to interfere with my wife, and they can't just answer the questions to me when I answer them. And yeah, sorry, it's very heated because this isn't personal to me anymore. It's personal to everybody in the World Mission Society Church of God. You all need to know you have been lied to. You have all been deceived. So that's what I got. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
think
it.
that's a good place to end it for part two. I mean, I don't know about everybody else, but I was kind of on the edge of my seat. Even though I've already heard this story multiple times, every time you tell it, I'm just like, "What? No way! What?"
Yeah, I'm not
um,
lying. I'll take it to my grave.
and yeah, and like from what it sounds like, you have receipts. So
Yep.
if anyone is wanting to know and wanted to reach out to you, I'm sure you'd have receipts to provide to prove your point. So,
Yep.
and at the end of the day, we're giving both sides of the story. Like if Pastor Jacob or head office or anyone would want to come onto the channel and be like, hey, actually, this is what happened. Again, my channel is supposed to be not an echo chamber. It's supposed to be just where truth is had, right?
Yep.
Where we hatch it out, where we find the truth.
Exactly.
We come to the
Hmm.
conclusion with the facts.
And I would love for these
So
people to
if
come
any,
on. But the thing is, if
yeah,
they
so
come on and they start spreading lies, I'm gonna fight you. Like I'm gonna debate you on the channel if that
oh, of
happens.
course. Oh, it's not going to come without debate. Like
Yeah,
you'd have to
because
be
I'm
a
not
fool
gonna
to
let
not
them just come
think
up
that.
and say, "Oh, this is the truth. Mitch is a liar. He didn't tell the truth." Because this is a church, guys. This is what they do. They spread lies. They're already spreading lies about me in Oklahoma City right now, trying to take down videos, trying to what else are they trying to do, Adam? Like you update your review on Google Maps and then they have an army of like 25 people giving a 5-star review that aren't even a part of your
Yeah.
guys' church. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll give you guys your time to speak, but at the same time, they're not going to come on, Adam, because I think they're concerned and scared because I say I got my receipts, and I think they're scared to get exposed because they know what I'm
Well, they
saying.
shouldn't be scared if they're the truth and
If
they
it's the
have
truth,
receipts as well, right?
if I'm lying, come on. If I'm lying, come on.
They should
Tell me
also
why.
have receipts and
Yep.
records too
Tell me why
to
I'm a
prove their
liar.
point.
I would love Eddie for you to bring
Exactly.
out all those letters. See, it's true. Mitch signed all these. Thanks for proving my point, Eddie. If you come on, I said these things. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. Bring your receipts. I want to see it and prove me
That's all
that
we
I'm
want,
lying. Prove
honestly.
me that I lied about anything on this right now. Prove to me that I lied. I spoke the truth.
Yeah.
This is my experience.
Yeah. So I think that leaves us at a really good spot. Again, if you want to hear more of Mitch's story, we're going to do a part 3 here in the next couple of weeks. So we're going to talk about, you getting back from Korea, you stepping down from pastoral staff, the aftermath of everything up until present day, and talk about some of your ongoing projects that you have in store. So that way people can look out to your channel and look out what you're doing as well. But yeah, thank you, Mitch, for coming on again, for telling your
Definitely, yeah.
story and
Needs
for
to be
speaking
said.
your truth. And it does need to be said. And it's December 24th as of the day recording. So if you do celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you don't, then I
That's
wish
fine
you just
too.
a Happy New Year. Yeah, and that's totally fine too. You're loved and you're blessed either way.
Yep.
So Happy New Year if you don't, and Merry Christmas if you do. And yeah, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on part 3. Thanks, guys.
We love you. We love you. Wow.
No.